When you have a kid and you take that child to school, you always expect that your kid will become number one. When you go to school as a person or you start a business, you always want to be the top. Even here, I'm doing a live conversation right now here. I want my live to have a lot of people. That's why I keep on reminding you guys that yes, if you're watching my video, please tap your screen to like the video so it can be shown to other people to join the conversation. So education and school has put us in a situation where we are only happy when other people are losing. And I want to repeat that. Education, especially the school education, you know, there's so many types of education, but school, the formal school where you go to standard 1 or kindergarten, standard 1, you get to finish primary, you go to secondary school, you go to high school, you go to college, you go to university, and you come out a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or so on and so forth. Teaches us only that you have to be happy when other people are failing. We don't know that. School teaches us that you are only happy when other people are failing. Why? Because you are only happy when you become number one. So when you are topping your class, all right, when you are topping your class, you are number one, you are happy, you run with your report card to your parents and give them and tell them that, you know what, I topped my class. What about the others? What about those others? So this has taken something into us. So what we believe, 80% of people around the world today believe that they are only successful when others are failing. How? Because you believe you're successful when you are doing better than others. Doing better than others, it means others have to fail. You start a business, you want your business to be the best, to be the top. When it is being the top, when you're attracting most of the customers to your business, it means you are killing other people's business, right? So the formal education, the school education structure teaches us only that we are only happy when other people fail. So that is what I learned from Sadhguru. Then now, he was bringing it to the life experience. Why don't we teach people that it is not about becoming the top in class, but it is about attaining grades that can make you go to the next level. We teach our kids, we teach our pupils, we teach the students, we teach the society that it is not about topping the class. It is about attaining grades that are going to take you to the next level. So we do away with the competition to top the class. But we have a competition where your parent has to ask you, which grades did you attain? They don't ask you which position were you in the class. Does it make sense? When you start a business, it is not about my business is the best in the industry, but it is my business is providing good services to the industry. I hope I'm getting this point home because I want to get to something so tough. So I'm trying to elude this so you can understand what I'm talking about. So it is about getting to this market to provide services that have, quality services to this society. It is not providing services to top. You might be the best business in town, yet your products are killing the town. You might be the best company in this market, yet your employees are suffering. Your employees in the next 10 years will not be alive, even though you are topping the market. So you're becoming the top of the market, and at the same time, because of your products, you are costing lives of those people who must work so hard to make your company top the market. I hope I'm bringing this point home. So now, guys, let me take you now through what I want to talk about today. I said that in life, there are those we call the enemies of progress. The people who, put a barrier, a wall, a sheet between you and success. Every time we look for these people, who is your enemy? If I may ask, like for example, do you have enemies? People are going to say, yes, I have. So who are they? People can mention names, But there is one enemy that people forget to mention. That one enemy is the person I want to talk about in the next 20 minutes. The biggest enemy of ourselves, the biggest enemy in your life today, wherever you are seated, that you have never known and you are not working hard to remove from your life, is yourself. I want to repeat that so you get it so clearly. If I may ask you today, who is your enemy? You are going to mention names. You are going to see a picture in your eyes, in your brain, in your mind. You're going to think about, oh, my neighbor, oh, that business guy who's competing me, oh, that lady who, trying to grab my man, that woman who's trying to grab, that man who's trying to grab my wife. You're going to see these people as your enemies. You're going to try to, pinch into every kind of holes to get these enemies. But we forget one thing, that the number one enemy that is living with us every single time, that knows every secret in us, is ourselves. So the question you could be asking yourself right now is, how can I be an enemy of myself? It's a tough question, but I want to put it down to you. I want to destroy it or demolish it or make it so easy for you to understand how you are an enemy of yourself. I'm trying to, okay, it's gone. Guys, we are enemy of ourselves. And now why and how is the question that is running in your mind right now. So let me tell you how you are enemy of yourself. Number one, there's this thing that we call ego. There's this thing that we call ego. Ego is a big shit. Ego doesn't come from your neighbor. Ego has never been from a kid or a child of your own. Ego doesn't come from your husband. It will never come from a business person who is in competition with you. But ego comes from within. When ego gets into you, you might be feeling that you are an independent woman, yet you are not. It is an ego that is making you to feel like now you are above other women. Sometimes you have something better than others. And instead of seeing that God has elevated you to be more powerful than others, to use that power to help others, to raise them, to pick them up, you use it to put them down because of your ego. You see, once we become so successful, we don't want to sit on plastic chairs. We want the sofa sets in a meeting or in a conference. Once we become so successful, we don't want to drink water in plastic cups. We have to be given water and glass like this. In a meeting, somebody, a friend of yours, calls you on a wedding or in their wedding to grace the occasion. Because you are so much successful and ego gets into you, now this friend that knew you 20 years ago or 15 years ago and you used to use plastic cups together wants to offer you tea in a plastic cup. Because of ego, you say, it is not my class. Yes, it is not your class. But sometimes you have to undress the ego and put it aside and appreciate the things that we see the way they are. Because that is what makes us to understand what is it to be on top and what is it to be at the level of others. If you don't understand what it takes to drink water in a plastic cup, you can never know how good or bad it is. If you have never, you cannot walk on maybe muddy, busted ground because you are special, you need a red carpet. You might not understand how hard it is to walk on the mud as a leader. So sometimes the people around you are crying, we have bad roads, we have these things, but because you're used to walking on carpet, you cannot understand it. And that is how ego interferes with our success. And ego comes from us, from within. It doesn't come out of us. This is what creates an enemy in us. It is not an enemy from outside. It is an enemy within us. Number 2 is what we call jealousy. You are number 1 enemy of yourself because of being jealous. I know, I understand that the best thing, the best thing that God gave to humankind when a humankind is born is jealousy. Jealousy can be used in a very positive way. You can love jealously to protect what you have as yours. You can do things jealously to protect what it is meant to be yours. But when jealousy overpowers your kindness, you become more jealous than you are kind. Your kindness doesn't show. What shows is your jealousy. It becomes an enemy, and it creates something that makes you not to grow. I will give you an example. If today you will meet a lady, for example, you are a lady, and today you meet a lady that you used to school with 10 years ago, driving a Lamborghini, do you know what will come into your mind at first? Oh, Mary, I don't think Mary can own a Lamborghini. It's either she's a gold digger, maybe it is her boyfriend, or maybe she hired that car. I know Mary cannot own a Lamborghini. I know. It is not always doubting them, but it is always jealousy. And when that kind of an attitude comes into your head, what knocks your head is, it is not possible. And that's how you become an enemy to yourself. Because you don't see possibilities that Mary can work hard and buy a Lamborghini. Because you doubting Mary because of jealousy, you will not work hard. But you see, when you are not jealous, you see Mary driving a Lamborghini and you say, oh, this girl, I knew her from before. She used to work so hard. Look at her. Wow. I'm going to get to Mary and ask her how she did that. Then you get to Mary and you tell her, Mary, congratulations. I never knew, it's been long. I didn't know that you've grown this much. So how is life? How are you doing? How did you do this? I can't imagine you're now driving a Lambo. My goodness, I'm still walking on my bare foot. So Mary can sit down with you for an hour having a coffee and give you wisdom that is going to get you out of walking from barefoot to start buying your own shoes. Number 3, inability to believe in yourself. Most of us today don't even believe. If today I tell you that you can make $1,000 every week, you will be like, who, me? I'm not even making $1,000 in a month. You're telling me I can make $1,000 in a week? So how? It's not possible. You tell them today that, you know what? In 2 months to come, you're going to have your own family. You're going to have your job. You're going to have this and that. They will tell you that never. Even in my family, my eldest sister or my eldest brother is the richest. He has tried, but he's never been to that level. So how can I? You see, the whole of our village, no one has ever attained that. So how can I? You see, that inability to believe in yourself makes you an enemy of yourself. I can tell you people, there are so many people here that I know, even my friends, who are not at the position where they're supposed to be, not because they don't have the structure, the resources, time, and energy to be at the level they need or they're supposed to be. But it is because they are their own enemy. They will curse the society, they will curse the government, they will curse their parents, they will curse their friends, their eldest brothers. In fact, sometimes they are younger brothers or younger siblings. Like, for example, I'm the last born son to my dad. Out of 6 boys, I'm the last born son. So if at all I was looking up to them and saying that, you guys, when you guys were going to school, my dad was working and was spraying money on you guys, but I didn't get that opportunity, I would not be at the position where I am. So the thing is, some people, instead of working hard to make their lives better, they will sit down and say, look at them, you know what? Dad spent all his money on them and educated them, but they have never even tried to help me. Even when I tell them I need this, they don't want to help me. You're becoming an enemy to yourself because you're not seeing the possibility of changing what is supposed to be changed by yourself, not them.